Hello, Shivani. Hello.
Hello, Jack.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm not very happy about the weather, but otherwise, I'm good.
What
I don't know, how's
What's
it
wrong
like
with
for
the
you guys?
weather?
In Tokyo, it's like, not Tokyo, but like where I am in Kanagawa, it's super rainy right now, and it's gonna be like that the rest of the week. So it's all like damp and
Rip.
eh.
It's sunny down in Osaka.
Oh my god, I hate you guys.
Okay, so Shivani, this is like kind of like an impromptu, kind of informal interview. I'm just gonna talk to you about your overall experience in Japan, what it took
Hmm.
for you to get here, how you're enjoying it so far. Um, for those of you who do not know Shivani, let's have a little introduction. So, where are you from, and what brings you to Japan?
I'm Shivani, as he said, and I'm from India. I'm from Mumbai, India. And I've come to Japan to teach English clearly. But yeah, I've wanted to come here since so many years. And at the end of the day, this just seemed like the best option for me, given my low level of Japanese and just the ease of this job. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing here right now.
For sure, for sure. And so, where are you in Japan right now? You said you were in Kanagawa.
Yeah, I'm in Kawasaki.
Okay,
So
very
it's
nice.
like just outside of Tokyo, maybe like half an hour by train.
Okay, for sure. That's pretty cool. It's very different because I'm in Osaka. I'm in northern
Hmm.
Osaka, and it's from my experiences in Tokyo to being in Osaka. I wouldn't say night and day, but it's very different. It's very different
Oh, it is?
in terms of like when I was in Tokyo. I feel like a lot of people abide more by like here's the rule set. Please abide by the rules and take care of your neighbor and don't deviate from those because if you do, you burden others. In Osaka, it's like I'm gonna kind of do that, but also it's about me, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're gonna have fun and
Yeah.
more carefree. I feel like.
Definitely Tokyo seems a little on the judgy side at times, but where I am in Kanagawa, a lot of times I've seen people don't follow rules, like especially like with the traffic lights and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Ooh. Kawasaki. So how are you liking it there overall? Give us your
I
overall.
really like it quite a bit because when I was applying, I wanted a suburban placement because I knew that this job would not give me enough money to be in the heart of Tokyo, and I didn't want to be in the heart of Tokyo.
That's true.
But
That's
I also don't think I would have been super happy with like Inaka because I need some kind of social life,
true. Right.
and I feel like I would be extremely isolated in the countryside. So this placement is actually pretty perfect for me, and I got really lucky
Okay.
because I have everything I need around me, and as I said, like Tokyo is just like half an hour away.
What would you say coming to Japan was one of the biggest things that like shocked you? Because I know that when we come to Japan, we experience culture shock. Some things
Hmm.
like for me, it was believe it or not, my friend told me this in a previous interview. It was, hey, the towels here are not the same. The towels here are not the same. Like, because
Okay then.
we both went to college together, like in Oregon, right? So it's America. America
Okay.
has these like thicker, bigger towels.
Fluffier towels,
Right,
yeah.
right. And you feel like
Mm-hmm.
you wrap yourself in it, and then you get
It's a hug.
dry. But
Fair
the
enough.
towels in Japan are like a third of the size, and
Yeah,
they're
they're pretty
thin.
thin. And they
Yeah,
dry pretty quickly, though. I think that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
plus point over there.
They do, yeah.
Hmm. Well, actually, this isn't my first time in Japan because I had come here on holidays. So if I were to think of that time as my first time in Japan, the one thing that really stood out for me was that the air smelled really sweet.
Really.
Because, like, back when I'm from in India, so I'm from Mumbai, and it's extremely like crowded and it's very polluted. And then I
Mm.
came here and I could like breathe. And I've actually, like, now that I think about it, talking about this, I used to cough a lot back in India, and I haven't like had any kind of sickness or anything since I've come here. So it's like,
Wow, that's
so
awesome.
that was, yeah, that was one of the things. And then secondly, just like I knew this beforehand, but seeing it in person about like people just like following rules down to the T, That was pretty weird and awesome because I don't see that much of it back home. We make our own
Hmm.
rules over there. So
Right,
that
right,
was,
right, right, right.
yeah, I think that was mainly it. I've been such a Japan nerd for such a long time that I kind of expected everything else. So it wasn't a surprise as such. But these things really like stood out for me.
Right, right, right. I mean, the common thing I get with, I mean, I could say maybe to the extreme amount is like when people come here and they're like, it's not exactly like it is in the animes. You know, it's not like
No,
this. I mean, like Japan by far is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever lived in. Um,
amen to that.
how can one country be so aesthetic? Like,
I
go outside
swear.
and even like the buildings that aren't supposed to be pretty are like, oh, that's a pretty building.
Yeah, like any photo you take is pretty over here, and you don't really have to make an effort. I know that's gonna piss off photographers, but like you really don't have to make any effort here.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I can attest to that. I don't really put much effort into my photos. Check out my Instagram. No, no.
Oh, I do. I just like
No,
one of
it's
your photos.
no, no. Okay, Shivani, a very important
Hmm.
question.
Yeah.
So, we asked in the beginning, you know, it's like, okay, where are you in Japan? And we know you love Japan, but why Japan? Why was that the country you chose to come to out of every other country? I mean, you could have gone to Korea, China, Taiwan,
Mhm.
some other countries in East Asia or Southeast Asia. What made you come to Japan?
Because I had that whole preoccupation with Japan since I was basically a child.
Mm,
I wanted to visit the place initially, and then I did on holiday and stuff. And it was just like it wasn't enough, like I thought that, ooh, if I visited it once or twice it would be enough, but I always felt like I wanted to come back and explore more and experience more, and I felt like I couldn't do that on a holiday.
mm,
And so yeah, I wanted to come and live here for a while. And also, why specifically Japan? I also did look at like Korea and stuff that did interest me, but just the safety of Japan is one of the main things for me as a girl.
mm.
And the whole thing where they're like so meticulous down to the last thing and very particular about time and your appearance and even everything. It was like all these small things like the fashion sense. I can wear the clothes over here that I want to wear that I don't really wear back home.
Gotcha.
And it's just like these small things that added up one on top of the other. That was like, it has to be Japan. It can't really be anything else.
A comment on on the styling thing. That is so true. I walk around the city and I'm like, man, I need to up my style game. Like, okay, teaching at school is one thing, right? You wear a collared shirt and some like pants or
Yeah.
whatever you want, right? Um,
Hmm.
but like out on the street, people are like,
Yeah, they're so perfect. Like
you
without.
know. So I mean, on top of that, I mean, I see you go out and you hang out with other ALTs, and I do follow you on the social medias.
Yes.
Where how's the community? How's the community where you're at? Are you developing uh
Do,
a good balance of Japanese friends and ALT
do
friends, or
you mean the ALT community or just the community
just
in general?
your community, your developing community?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, one of the most important things for my social life right now is that I don't live in an apartment. I live in a share house.
Okay.
So, I actually like have that regular social interaction with these people. And the people in my share house, half of them are foreigners and half of them are Japanese.
Oh, cool.
And we all kind of make an effort to speak Japanese, and the Japanese people make an effort to speak English. So we have that cross culture thing happening. And with the other ALTs, it's usually just like English, so there isn't much of Japanese practice happening. But
Gotcha.
yeah, my main interaction, like every day when I come home and like we greet each other and stuff and we eat dinner together and all that. So
That's actually kind of cool. Wow.
yeah, I actually really liked my setup. A lot of people were like, "Oh, ew, you're gonna like live in a share house, and oh, you're gonna have to share spaces." And I'm perfectly happy with that because I feel like I'm not here for a really long time, and I want to make the most of it.
Okay.
And for me, this is making the most of it
Gotcha.
because I'm not someone who's like that outgoing, so I wouldn't like make the extra effort to go out and like socialize and go to
Right.
meetups and stuff. So this works really well for me.
Okay, so
Mhm.
Shivani, you are not from the United States like some of the other people that I've interviewed in the past. So
Mhm.
what was the process like getting into Japan? Was it more difficult, do you think? Because
Uh,
obviously you only have your experience. So how was your experience?
I think getting into Japan, like with the paperwork and all, was the same for everyone, really.
Okay.
Even like getting my visa took about like as much time as it did for everyone else, like a week maximum. Four
That's good.
days actually, 4 working days.
Oh, lucky
Um,
you, huh? Lucky you.
yeah,
Ours took 10,
yeah,
mine took 10 days.
that's a while. But yeah, even like I remember when we used to have that Instagram chat back when we were all like getting like we were getting ready to come to Japan.
Right.
And I didn't really see any big difference as such, other than when I finally came to Japan,
Hmm.
because the thing was that our vaccinations are different from the ones that Japan had approved.
Ah,
So we had to do like if you're from India and if you haven't received any of the three vaccines, right, that were okayed by Japan, so you had to do like a 3-day quarantine
okay.
in the government hotel.
Hmm. How was
Apart
that?
from
Tell us about that. So you were in the government, you were in a
uh,
government sanctioned hotel. Could you leave your
yeah,
room?
no, I couldn't leave my room for
Okay.
3 days, and then after that, so like every day, I'll just start from the beginning. So
Okay.
they took us to the hotel after we landed.
Okay.
It was like a long process through immigration. It took us like 7 hours or something that day. And when we finally got to the hotel, they give you like a pamphlet telling you about how you have to check your temperature, what apps you have to download. At the airport as well, they tell you like what apps you have to download,
Gotcha.
but they
Gotcha.
tell you again at the hotel. And then they'll give you like your dinner for that day because we reached at dinner time. And basically, your quarantine starts the day after you've checked into the hotel. So every morning and every evening, we had to check like our temperature and report it to the app. And every day, like in the morning at around like 7 or 8, we'd get like there'd be an announcement on the PA system where they'd say that your meal is being left outside right now. So like 3 times a day, so there was like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The meals were so good. Like
Really?
it was, yeah, they were insanely good. The only complaint I had that it was that they were cold, but like you
Ah,
can't really help that, right?
yeah.
So, but they were like these beautiful bento meals, like with every little thing, like how you see online or on TV and all of that. It was really pretty. And it really made my heart so happy that I had 3 days of free good food.
That's
Oh, it
good.
made me so happy. And it was pretty comfortable. By the third day, it did get a little, annoying that I was locked up in that room, but I had to leave after that, so it wasn't that bad. I don't have that much of a problem staying indoors, so I just like attended Borderlink meetings and watched some movies, and time flew by.
So you're out of the quarantine, right? You
Hmm.
come to the Odaiba Hotel, the place
Yes.
where I finally got to meet you in person, which
Yeah.
was really cool. Peach Tea
That
Man,
was.
that's who I was
I was
known
like, oh my
as.
god, I'm seeing my first
Oh my
YouTuber.
God, I'm not what I'm not even famous.
No, but you were like an established YouTuber at that point. I'm like, oh, I'm meeting someone
Oh my
famous.
God, no! Please don't ever do that. So I got to meet you for the first time. Okay, after those 2 weeks of fun in the sun, Odaiba, seeing the Gundam, going out, partying,
Yeah.
all that fun
I didn't
stuff.
party, so.
Definitely abiding by the Borderlink rules and regulations, keeping us safe
Yes.
in Japan. Definitely not going out and having a wild time in Shinjuku and Shibuya. Definitely not doing
I
that.
didn't. I did not do that.
I may or may not have done that more than once in
Oh
the two
God,
in those two
I'm
weeks.
I'm too by the book for my own good. So
That's okay. That's okay. No, no. But what's it like? What was your first day of being? Okay, so after the 2 weeks, right? You went to the share house.
yes.
Okay, so
Oh
what
no, I
was
didn't. I didn't actually.
what did you
No,
do?
because I had to. The share house thing was start like my check-in date was the 27th of March,
Gotcha.
and like we were let go, I think, on like the 24th, the 23rd, or something like that.
Right.
So I had to do 3 days in like by myself. So I chose to go to this hostel in Asakusa,
Nice.
and I knew that it would be good because I had been there before,
Okay.
and like on my previous trip. So yeah, it was basically like going back home, kind of.
Mm.
And then like for the next 3 days, I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna get this kind of opportunity again once work starts, and I'm in Tokyo. So I just took that opportunity to like go around, take photos, and it was sakura season. So like I went down Sumidagawa River. I went obviously to Tokyo Skytree just because I could.
Just because you could, man.
And what else did I do? Where else did I go? We went to Ueno with a couple of other ALTs.
How
Mm,
was that?
it was pretty okay. Like we were supposed to go to Ueno Park and then the zoo, but we reached too late for the zoo, so it was closed.
It's okay.
But it was pretty nice anyway, because like I had company and the sakura was like beautiful and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I think I just like roamed around Shibuya and Shinjuku, and yeah, and I also like bought whatever I needed, and I had my
Perfect.
bags like couriered to the
Right,
warehouse,
that's
so
so
it was like
convenient. Oh
I
my
love Taco
gosh.
Hyben. Oh my god.
Oh, so good. So
Mm.
good. So
Yep.
you moved in, you met all your people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The first day of school is starting. It's coming up. Like,
Mm.
what was it like meeting your schools for the first time? How many do you teach at?
I just have the one school,
Just the one.
but
Okay.
it's
How was your
a
school?
massive school. My
Massive.
school is like, I have been so lucky with my school. I can't even put it into words. So the first day I was obviously like super nervous in the morning, and I was like, oh, am I wearing the right thing, and blah 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 blah. And yeah, I went to school, reached on time, like on Japanese time,
Great.
and immediately went to look for the Kocho sensei, because what happens in Kawasaki is that your coordinator is not going to come with you to school on the first day. So we didn't have any kind of introductions and stuff.
What?
So we had to go and do that by ourselves. I was
What?
basically shitting bricks. But it
What?
was, yeah, we didn't have like, they said that in Kawasaki City the rules are different, and they tell us that a lot of times, like Kawasaki is different. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess
say
so.
so,
Built different over
if
there,
you
yeah.
say so. But yeah, so I went to introduce myself to the vice principal, because she or he is supposed to be the most important person in the school. They say that, like she actually has most of the work as compared to the principal. And I'm
Really?
guessing he has like some other kind of role as well. But the person in school who has the most work is usually her or him, whoever has a he for the
Gotcha.
vice principal. And everyone was so busy with the entrance ceremony that they just like passed me from one teacher onto the other. And I finally reached the teacher who was responsible for me. So at my school, I teach at an elementary school, and my teacher, like the teachers that I have who are English teachers, is one Ego Tanto, which is like the head of the English department,
Right.
and he teaches grade like 4, 5, and 6. And then we have another dedicated English teacher, like a JTE for grade 3, because grade 3 has like 7 different divisions.
Oh.
Yeah, my school has like some 1,200 kids. My third grade English teacher told me that, we're gonna like go out and we're gonna stand in the line, and the principal is gonna call your name out. Just like go ahead and bow and then go back to your place. I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
Easy.
And then the principal goes like, okay, so all the new teachers, come ahead and introduce yourselves and say a few words. And I was at the end of that line, okay? So like one by one, the
Beautiful.
Japanese teachers are like going in, being funny with their funny one-liners, and the kids are laughing, and I'm like, and I
Just
was just like, I was so thankful
freaking
that I
out.
was at the end of that line, because I was just thinking, I was like, please brush up your Japanese right now. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? I just went like, the mic came to me. I was like, Hajimemashite, Harihar Shivani this, Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And all the teachers are just like, I was just thinking, I was like, how can she do this to me? But obviously, like, she also didn't know, because she was like looking at me like, well, but yeah,
It's
that
fine.
happened. And then we all went back in, and then I had to introduce, like at the end of that day, I had to introduce myself again to the staff room.
Nice.
So that went a lot better because I had kind of prepared for that, and I said, like very humbly, like my Japanese isn't really good. Nihongo to koi dewa nai, and they were like, "Whoa!" And then I was like, "No, I like,
Ooh,
yeah."
whoa.
And,
Over here spitting out some Japanese.
yeah. And then they, like I said the anime thing, even though they said like in our training, don't say that you like anime. I was like, whatever. And I
I
said I
like
like
anime.
anime, I like traveling, whatever. And after that, like I had like four teachers come up to me and be like, "Oh, what anime do you watch? I like anime too. So suck it." Yeah, but that was my first day. It was pretty great.
Yeah, that's so funny because I had to do something very similar when I had to introduce myself to the the teachers in the teachers room, and
Right.
there was one other new guy too, and this guy is like an older Japanese guy, and so he's up there like rapping in Japanese, like, "Yo, my name is Tanaka, and I'm from Kanagawa, and I'm over here joining the school." I was like, "Oh no, my Japanese is gonna be so bad. Like, what am I gonna do?" And so I went up there and I was like, "Hey, I'm Jack. I'm from Hawaii," and everyone was like,
In
"Whoa!" You know,
Hawaii,
that
they
was
love
like
Hawaii.
the big
Yeah,
the big one that
yeah.
everyone was like. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, I like to ride bikes and stuff." And then at one of my schools, there was a teacher, and he's like, "You like bikes?" And I was like, "I like bikes." He's like, "I want to show you a picture of my bike." And so he pulls
Oh.
his phone out, and he's like, and I'm like, "That's pretty nice, but do you have these ones?" And I was like, we were like having like a bike moment, just being nerds. Broken
Oh, that is
English,
so
broken
cute.
Japanese, just
But it's so adorable, right? Especially
right.
like when they try, because I'm sure that it's pretty unnerving for them to even like come up to someone who doesn't speak their language. Because a lot of teachers at my school, I heard them at later points in time say that, we want to talk to her, but like our English isn't good. And then my English teacher used to be like, "No, you just gotta try. Like she'll try in Japanese, you try in English." I was like, "Oh, so heartwarming."
All right. So you've given us the breakdown of your day. You know what it looks like to teach. Shivani, the teacher. What does free time look for you? It's Friday. Like what do you do on the weekends?
Um, I actually really just I'm a cheapo firstly, so I look
Nice.
for the cheapest things to do. And usually the kind of stuff I like to do revolves around like photography or just like exploring a new neighborhood. So
Excellent.
I just really like enjoy going on walks to places that I haven't been before. Sometimes I meet a few ALT friends. Like last week I met Chloe. I don't know if
Oh yeah, yeah,
you
I
know
know Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, of course you know Chloe. And yeah, and also along with all of that, there is like laundry and cleaning my room and ironing my clothes and all that. Yeah, and also, well, actually, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, I try to go out as much as I can because at the end of it, I don't want to regret that I didn't do enough with my time that
Right.
I had here. So yeah, I try doing new things every weekend. Sometimes it rains and like I really can't do anything about that. So then I try to make the most of my time at home.
So you keep saying that like your time is limited. Your time is limited. Like I don't have a lot of time here.
Ah,
Are you only staying for a year? Is that it?
I plan on like when I before I came here, the idea was to stay for a year. Right now, I don't know, because I assumed that the novelty of the situation would kind of wear out at some point in time. It hasn't yet. So I still like love waking up and going to this job every day, and that's actually something that hasn't happened for me till now where I wake up like, yay, I'm going to work and I'm like smiling at work. I'm happy after I finish work. I'm like, oh, I've had a good day, like I've never had like a bad day till now.
That's great.
So I'm not exactly sure how long I'll be here, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I keep hearing this thing. Okay, so like when you first come here, you have a honeymoon phase, right? Like you're just married, like
Exactly.
wow, this is
That,
great. The
yeah.
country's, you can do no wrong, right?
Mm.
And then like after maybe anywhere from 2 to 5 months in, people
Yeah.
start feeling like, wow, okay, the monotony of
Yeah.
Japanese life. Like my Japanese isn't that good, so I can't really do what I want to do. I can't really blah blah
Exactly.
blah blah blah, and so I can't express myself. And so there's this decline that starts to happen, and then
Yep.
eventually you're gonna hit this bottom part, like
Yeah.
this the end of right. It's like wow, I want to go home. Like it's like that,
Yeah.
but
I've heard this a lot.
a lot of people say like, I really wanted to go home. I was really homesick. I wanted just to be somewhere where I was comfortable. And he said, well, if
Hmm.
you can tough it out,
Get past that.
yeah, for that 1 or 2 months that you're like that, it starts to go up again. It's
Get a
you
lot
start
better.
to reach
I think we've seen the same video
an
because I
incline.
remember this graph.
Right, 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 right.
I can't remember what video it was, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, I know eventually. Yeah, I'm kind of with you where it's like, oh yeah, Japan is still the most like, it's a great country. I have not
Yeah.
experienced like a bad day here, uh,
Yeah.
yet, but I know
Yeah.
eventually I want to get to the point where it's like every day is a day where it's like
It's normal.
it's
Yeah.
normal now. It's good.
Yeah.
I can live. I can survive. I can thrive here, kind of deal. But
I
yeah.
feel like it does feel normal even right now. But the other thing with me is that I came in, like, I had seen so many videos bashing the ALT thing and, like, living in Japan. So I came with, like, zero expectations.
Hmm.
So I haven't really been disappointed. I know that that's not the healthiest way to look at something, but
It's all bad.
yeah.
It's all bad.
Yeah, no, no, no. It's not. Obviously, it's not. But yeah, it. I didn't come with that rose-colored view of Japan. Like I was aware of a good number of problems. Like of course, you can never be prepared for everything,
Right.
but you know, you should know the bad side of things as well. So
That's true. That's true. That's true. Expect what's it? What's it? Expect the best, but plan for the worst. Kind of
yeah,
mentality.
exactly. You summed it up perfectly.
So lately,
Hmm.
I have been missing this energy drink that I have had. I would have one of these every day when I lived in the
And
United States
oh,
for a
okay, in the
good
United States.
three
Okay.
years. For three
Oh,
years, right? And 160 milligrams of caffeine in every single one of them. So do the math on that. I was basically living on rocket fuel. Um, but they don't have them here in Japan because they're
oh
not
God.
international. So
Not on Amazon or anything?
if you want to spend like $400, but
Uh,
that's not me. That's not me, brother. I ain't doing that. I miss them, but not that much. Oh man. um,
oh
so
God. So you're
um,
missing them again now.
right, right, right. So that's what I
Uh,
wanted to ask you. It's like, what are
mhm.
some things you're really missing from home? Maybe some like food stuff. Maybe just like, oh yeah, I used to go to the store when I was back home. Like, what are
Um,
some things that you miss other
well,
than your family?
okay, other than my
Other
family.
than your family, obviously.
Um, I really miss, like, in terms of food, the thing with Japan is that they have, like, a lot of rice, right? And also they have, like, a lot of, mm, I don't know how y'all call it here, but in India we call it maida. So maida is usually like all-purpose flour, bread or anything that's made with all-purpose flour. And back in India we have like these things called rotis or
I
chapatis.
do know those.
Oh, you do? Okay,
I do know
awesome.
those. Yes.
So those are made like with wheat, and it's just like it's a huge change to my diet.
Hmm.
And I miss having like hot chapatis, just like with my Indian food and
Man,
stuff.
you know.
Yeah, and actually, the thing in India is also that a lot of people over there have like domestic help. So you're not like usually cooking your meals on your own. So I just, I love doing stuff for myself. But then once in a while, I'm just like, oh, I wish, someone could just keep
Just
like some food ready for me. And not like hot, I mean, not like instant food or something, like food that's been made from scratch and just
right,
has that homey feeling.
right. I
Apart
get
from
you.
that, um
That's
like
kind of cool
yeah,
though.
family and like I'm like doing long distance and stuff, so that also kind of figures into it sometimes. But I think I'm still, like you said, in that honeymoon phase, maybe where it's part that, and it's also because I try to keep myself as busy as possible, so I don't let myself miss stuff. So if I consciously think about what I'm missing, then yeah, a lot will come to mind, but I don't actually really miss that much.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so knowing what you know now, right?
Hmm.
If you could go back and pack something, what would you pack? Like
Oh
what
God.
like you could bring anything. I just want you to like for people that are coming to Japan and they're like, "Oh man, what should I bring?" You know? One,
Oh.
bring a towel. Bring a towel that you like.
Yeah,
Uh
bring whatever, bring however stupid you think something is, if it makes you feel good or it makes you feel like at home, bring it. Like, bring, if you have like a certain stuffed toy, if you have a certain charm, keychain, whatever, if you have certain food that just, it just makes your day, bring it. Like, it's okay if you have to pay a little extra for your luggage, but
right.
bring it. Like, I want to, I don't know why I didn't, like an idiot, bring. So we have these things called pressure cookers in India. I don't know if you guys have those
Oh
in
yes, we do.
America.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
but like, so we use that for a lot of our foods, and I can't make a lot of that food now because I don't have that pressure cooker.
Oh, they must
And I'm
have
like,
them. They
no, they
must.
have different ones in India. So the ones that we in Japan, sorry,
Oh.
but the ones we have in India are a little different, and they're like catered towards our food.
Oh, it
So
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, so that is something I wish I had got. But otherwise, I packed pretty light in terms of clothes. I'm just looking at my cupboard to see how useless it is. Clothes, I think, are not really that important and stuff because you can always buy here. You can buy them cheap at like thrift stores and
Right.
Muthai night stuff.
Right. The clothing here is not that expensive, and
Yeah.
I found out that when you buy pants that are over like, well, say 20 US dollars, like the comparison, what is that? Like 2,000
2,000
yen?
yen,
Yeah,
little more, yeah.
little more, little less. They will actually tailor the cuffs for you
What?
for free.
Oh, but they have to be above like 2,000
I
yen.
think I
2,000
think
yen's not bad,
it's
right?
included into the service. That's why. So
For women too.
yeah, yeah, for everyone.
Where is this? Uniqlo?
Uniqlo. I think it's any store you can buy like clothes from. I think they all do
Amazing.
it. So what?
I didn't know this. Thank you.
Right. I was my mind was blown. I was like, I'm used to just wearing my sleeves long, just over the shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. If you go to you try them on, you get your waist size, and then
Mhm.
you ask them you tell them a certain phrase. I don't like. I think it's like
I'll have to find that out, yeah.
right, right. That's language video coming soon. No, but yeah, you can get your sleeves hemmed for no additional cost to
Okay.
you, but you
Super.
wait an hour and come pick them back up. Yeah.
I mean, that's reasonable.
All right, all right.
Mm.
So
What did you not bring that you wish you'd brought?
the fucking towel. That
Oh,
I
just
won't shut up about it. No. If I could bring anything here, I
mm.
think, and I mean like anything. God, I miss my super nice bike back home. But that's not the point. The point is,
Fair
the
enough.
I think I would bring like my Switch because apparently you can it's not region locked like other Nintendo devices, so you
Why
can
didn't you bring it?
because I wanted to bring my computer instead.
Oh my god. Oh, you brought. You brought your
Yeah. So
What a
that's why.
guy.
So
Wow.
yeah, you you
Okay.
know what it is. Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Well, Shivani,
Very
we've
nice.
come to the close, but I'd like to ask you: is there any advice or any closing words or anything you'd like to say before the interview is wrapped up?
Have an open mind when you come here because so many people, like you said, they just think that Japan is what it's like in the animes. And it's not, like, I mean, why would you even assume that? But yeah, there's going to be, at the end of the day, you're moving to a different country, and how much ever you love it, there will always be rude shocks, whatever you've prepared for. And you have to just come with the mindset that, there are going to be these things. And even though there are, like, I've had certain things where I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do now? I don't know how to fix this. And by the next day I knew how to fix it. And stuff just works itself out because it kind of has to. So come with that open mind and just be, at least especially if you're coming as an ALT, just try to be what's the word? Ah, try I want to say, I don't want to say flexible because that is pretty vague. Try to not be very rigid in your ideas of what Japan should be. And it's not going to be like home, like just accept that
Right.
and try to make the most of every new situation because it's literally all based on how you look at it. You can, it's like glass half empty or full. It's really
Right.
up to you. So, more than anything, like you can bring all these materialistic things, but like bring an open mind. And I know that sounds so cliched, but like, yeah, that's it. Everything else, I said, like, sorry,
Go ahead.
just bring an open mind. Everything else is manageable, like whether you get it, don't get it, just have that mindset and it'll work everything out for you.
Gotcha.
Pretty.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shivani, for the interview. It's been good talking
Thank
to
you
you.
for having me
Good catching up with you.
out of everyone else. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for letting me rant on about all my
Oh,
opinions.
real quick, where can we find you on the social medias?
I just started a YouTube actually, so you can find me on YouTube. You knew
Whoa.
that. Oh my god.
Whoa.
And yeah, and I have like an Instagram. I have two Instagrams. One is like catered towards Japan, and one is catered towards like my art and stuff.
Yeah,
So
she's an
take
artist.
your pick.
She's a
Yeah.
sick artist. You should go check out her stuff and
Oh,
commission her
thanks.
to do artwork for you.
Wow. Thank you for the validation. Means a
Of,
lot.
of course. You've been dropping some really like cool stuff. I saw your vampire pic recently.
Oh yeah. I hadn't been drawing like for me since so long, and I was only doing like these commissions. I was like, oh god, I gotta draw for me. Can't stop being an artist. But yeah.
All right, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Shivani.